Over this summer, Delaware will officially join the Conference USA, becoming a full-blown FBS member for football with 1 year of their transition period left. Being from New Jersey, it is something I could not be more excited for, giving me another team within driving distance to go watch a game at. Delaware is a historically great FCS program with multiple Division II national titles and an FCS national title, making 24 playoff appearances in school history. They are a program on the rise and could be the next great story of college football, and this is the rise of Delaware football. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you want me to cover in future videos in the comments section below. Before we get into what this means for college football, let's go over the history of Delaware football. Delaware began playing football in 1889, where it would find on and off success until the arrival of Bill Murray in the 1940s. When Murray arrived, the Fightin' Blue Hens were playing at the Division II level, and under him they went 49-16-2, winning the 1946 Division II national title. Murray would be named the head coach of Duke in 1950 and was replaced by David M. Nelson. Nelson brought the wing T offense to Delaware, an offense they would run for 50 years, following his arrival, and introduced the winged helmets, which was developed at Michigan and Princeton under Nelson's mentor, Fritz Crisler. Nelson played for Crisler when Crisler was the head coach at Michigan, and Nelson brought the helmet design with him to every team he coached. Nelson remained head coach until 1965, compiling an 84-42-2 record, winning the Division II national title in 1963 over Kent State in their bowl game. In 1966, Harold Tubby Raymond took over as head coach after serving as an assistant on the staff, an assistant on the baseball team, and he would become the face of the Blue Hens football program for nearly 36 seasons. Things did not start off great for Raymond in his second season, as they finished the year with a 2-7 record, but he would then proceed to lead Delaware on a dominant run. He perfected the wing T offense, racking up 300 wins to only 119 losses and 3 ties. He led the Blue Hens to 14 Lambert Cup trophies as the best team in the East in a particular division, 4 national semifinals, and 3 national championships in 1971, 1972, and 1979. His 300 wins accounted for nearly half of the football victories in school history. These 3 men, Murray, Nelson, and Raymond, are all enshrined in the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia Tech is the only other school to place 3 consecutive coaches into the College Football Hall of Fame. Throughout his career, he led Delaware to wins over Navy, Maryland, Rutgers, and Temple, putting together 60 wins over teams played at a higher level than them. There were always talks about Delaware moving up to the FBS level, joining the FCS in 1980 via Division II football. Yet they continue to find a lot of success and profitability at the FCS level, which paired nicely with their highly respected university. Raymond would retire in 2001, and he was replaced by Casey Keeler, who continued the Blue Hens football success, leading them to the 2003 Division I AA national title with a 15-1 record and the quarterfinals the following year. In 2004, Keeler told American Football Monthly, "We're the LSU, we're the Georgia, the Florida of Division I AA. We have every resource. There's some people who have better resources than we do, but in general, the college campus we have is one of the greatest college towns in America. In the academics, we led the nation last year in out-of-state applications, more than Michigan or Texas. But that's what this school has become. Everybody wants to come here." They routinely sold out their 22,000-seat stadium, making them one of the top-attended football schools at the FCS level. Delaware was the only FCS program to average more than 20,000 fans per regular season home game for each season from 1999 to 2010. The home attendance record was set in 1973 on October 27th against Temple University with 23,619 fans. And attendance has exceeded 22,000 fans frequently. On a game day, they are the 4th largest city in all of Delaware behind Wilmington, Dover, and Newark itself. Main head coach Jack Cosgrove told Keeler that playing Delaware at Delaware Stadium is the highlight of many of his players' collegiate careers because of their large fan support. In 2007, Delaware made it back to the FCS national title game, losing to App State. They also had one of the longest streaks in all of college football to never lose 8 games in a season, which was only matched by Michigan, Ohio State, and Tennessee, but they marked their 8th loss in the 2008 season a week after Michigan did the same. In 2010, Delaware made it back to the national title game with a 12-2 record, but lost to Eastern Washington to fall short once again. But after a 7-4 and 5-6 season, Keeler was fired and replaced by Rutgers head coach Dave Brock. Keeler finished with an 86-52 record, leading the Blue Hens to 3 conference titles and 4 FCS playoff appearances, making it to the title game 3 times and the quarterfinals once. Brock failed to find success at Delaware and was fired 6 games into the 2016 season, becoming the first coach to ever be fired mid-season in Delaware football history, and was replaced by Richmond head coach Danny Rocco. Rocco led Delaware back to the FCS playoffs for the first time since 2010 and 2018, where they lost to James Madison in the first round. In September of 2019, Delaware became the 39th team to record 700 wins in the NCAA when they beat Rhode Island. In 2020, they made it to the semifinals of the playoffs before losing to South Dakota State. Rocco put together a 31-23 record, but was fired after the 2021 season. Rocco was replaced by Ryan Carty, a former Blue Hens quarterback who had coached at New Hampshire for 11 seasons and spent 4 years under Keeler as offensive coordinator at Sam Houston State, helping them win the 2020 FCS national title. Carty led Delaware back to the playoffs in 2022, losing to eventual national title winners South Dakota State in the second round. In 2023, Carty led Delaware to an 8-3 regular season record, where they finished 4th in the CAA. They would beat Lafayette in the first round of the playoffs 36-34, before losing to number 2 Montana 49-19 in the second round of the playoffs in Missoula, their last playoff game as a member of the FCS. In September of 2023, there were talks at Delaware about upgrading multiple facilities to help build infrastructure that sparked conversation about them possibly considering a move to the FBS level. It was estimated to be an $85 million project, and they were looking for funding. A lot of people who were being asked about building the facilities said they would give the program the money if they would move to the FBS level. There was also the driving factor with the CAA's addition in Campbell and Bryant, who do not match the school's success in athletics and their academics. With conference realignment going crazy the past few years, many felt the push to make the move seem likely, especially after watching former FCS rivals James Madison, App State, Old Dominion, and Georgia Southern all moving up over the past decade. Talks about moving to the Conference USA, Sun Belt, or MAC started gaining traction. Back in 2022, Bennett Conlin named Delaware the 6th best team to find success early at the FBS level if they were to make the jump behind North Dakota State and South Dakota State, Montana, Montana State, and Jackson State, who was coached by Deion Sanders at the time. Delaware Online's Kevin Trissolini wrote back in September of 2023, "It would certainly be a costly venture with the addition of 22 scholarships plus other expenses. Title IX gender equity standards may also necessitate the addition of a women's sport. Here comes ice hockey. For travel costs and academic mindedness, the MAC seems like the best situation for Delaware." But then a major bombshell occurred at the end of November in 2023 when the Blue Hens were still battling in the FCS playoffs. It was announced that they would be joining the Conference USA in the 2025-2026 academic year, meaning they were going to start the transition period this past season, making them ineligible for the 2024 FCS playoffs. Although they were not eligible for the playoffs this past season, there was still a lot of excitement around the team, as they came into the season ranked as the number 19 team in the preseason polls and added 9 FBS transfers and 2 FCS transfers heading into this year. They also returned all-conference player Marcus Yarns, Vinton Bros, Ty Davis, and Tyron Herring. Along with those all-conference players, they returned their starting quarterback in Ryan O'Connor and their 5 starting offensive linemen. This was an offense in 2023 that averaged 31.6 points per game, making them the 21st best scoring offense in the FCS. On defense, they returned 7 of their top 10 tacklers and finished 37th in the FCS for allowed points per game with 24. 5 of their FBS transfers were on the defensive side of the ball, including Rutgers defensive lineman Quarian Price, Troy's linebacker Blake Matthews, NC State defensive back Nate Evans, Boston College defensive back Jason Scott, and Marshall linebacker Mark Vyacek. Due to transitioning to the FBS, they would be left out of the preseason projections for the CAA. They would start the 2024 season 6-0, beating Bryant, North Carolina A&T, Penn, Sacred Heart, Monmouth, and Maine, averaging 42.3 points per game, with Penn being the only team to hold them under 40 points, while their defense was allowing 18 points per game. Their offensive explosion would be shut down by Richmond, who held them to 9 points on the road, with a 28-9 loss, and the offense failed to hit the 40-point mark in 3 of their next 4 games. They finished the regular season 9-2, losing to Villanova in their season and FCS finale 38-28, as they averaged 34.9 points per game offensively and allowed 21 points per game on defense. Heading into the 2025 season, Carty remains head coach. The Hens are coming off their best 3-year stretch since the late 1990s, going 26-11 under him so far. He explained, "There's not a person in this building that doesn't want to work really hard to get to the point where we're competitive in every one of those games and or winning them. Winning's hard wherever you are, I promise you that. It was hard 2 years ago, it was hard last year, it was hard this year, and it's going to be hard next year. We're really set up to understand what is necessary, and then, probably mostly, set up to understand what we need and then to pivot to getting to that point. That's really what we do best here. From an administration standpoint, from a coaching staff standpoint, I think we cannot be a program in the box that's just, this is who we are. We're going to be able to figure out what we need to be in order to be successful. There are high hopes that this could be a quick, easy transition for the Hens. They have more financial resources than Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, and Kennesaw State had when they decided to make the transition. They will return 3 quarterbacks next year with starting experience. They have also expanded their recruiting efforts in the South, bringing in 2/3 of their class from southern states. In 2024, they finished with the 156th ranked recruiting class, while in 2025 they finished with the 132nd ranked recruiting class according to 24/7 Sports Composite, including 8 3-star recruits. They have added 5 transfers in interior offensive lineman Noah Rosenhack from Syracuse, Patrick Methley, edge Noah Matthews from Kentucky, and safeties Khalil Ali from Boston College, and Tomas Amenkoa from Rutgers. Their 2025 schedule is an interesting one as they open up their season against in-state rival Delaware State on Thursday, August 28th. This continues the Route 1 rivalry and replaces the 2024 matchup that was supposed to be played in Dover. They then travel to Boulder to take on Colorado in Week 2, before hosting UConn in Week 3 for their FBS home opener. They then travel on the road to FIU before a bye leading to the Conference USA home opener at Western Kentucky. I'm hoping to attend either the UConn or Western Kentucky game this year. Then they travel to Alabama to take on Jacksonville State on a Wednesday night before hosting Middle Tennessee on a Wednesday night as well. They close out the regular season with a road trip to Liberty, Sam Houston, and Wake Forest, while hosting Louisiana Tech and UTEP at home. In 2026, they host Coastal Carolina and Merrimack while traveling to Vanderbilt and Virginia. In 2027, they renew their rivalry with James Madison when they host them, as well as hosting LIU and traveling to Penn State and UConn. The sad thing and blown opportunity is the fact that they don't have a matchup with Temple or Rutgers on their schedule through 2032 as of now. I think those are some local benchmarks for Delaware and could be fun for this area. This move to Delaware is a massive move, as being from New Jersey, Delaware is considered kind of the top 3 college choices for people in my area who want to stay relatively local. Of the big state universities, many hope to attend Rutgers, Penn State, or Delaware, and you could also probably toss Syracuse into that conversation as well. UDEL is a major brand in the Northeast and will be playing in a mainly Southern Conference in the Conference USA. If they perform well, don't be surprised if they're candidates for the American, ACC, or Sun Belt in the near future. They have a lot of historic success and resources at the FCS level, and things will be interesting for Delaware next year and beyond, and I can't wait to see what happens. What do you think? Is this the right move for Delaware, and who will be the next team to transition? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.